The only reason that rich people are rich is because they had everything handed to them, or they've had all the advantages that poor people just haven't had. Talking about this kind of idea in this video, it's just one of those things, you know, these videos come to me sometimes where something happens, or I read something, or I see something on TV, or whatever it is, I see something and it gives me a topic to talk about. And that's what we're doing today. We're talking about the idea that the only reason that rich people are rich is because they've had certain advantages. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. My hands, what do I do with my hands? I don't want to get into politics with this channel. I'm thinking that most of you guys already know kind of where I stand with politics. So they had a poll on CNBC this morning that 65% of Democrats believe that the only reason that most people in America are rich is because they have advantages that other people in America don't have. I think the best way to really start this conversation is to really look back at my life. I started out in a middle-class family. My dad has a construction company. He doesn't have a lot of money, but he's happy. He lives his life, and that's what he does. He doesn't have any investments. He doesn't have any stock market investments. He doesn't have a retirement fund. He's not worried about getting rich. He's just worried about maintaining the life that he lives. There's nothing wrong with basically being happy with what you got. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you do find that point where you're like, I'm happy, I make $60,000 a year, I've got a good job, I'm happy with that, that's totally fine. But what pisses me off is when people attribute success to either luck, or they attribute success to that person having advantages that they don't have. Now, this is a really good example because I come from, like I said, a family, a world that really knows nothing about the stock market, really knows nothing about YouTube or social media or really any of that stuff or marketing or anything like that. Everything that I have, everything that I've accomplished, I've done on my own. Now, I've had support in terms of, you know, I guess emotional support. You know, my family has believed in me. They're some of my biggest fans now. But when I first started this whole kind of content creation video, whatever you want to call, whatever my life is, whenever I first started that, they told me I was crazy, that it was impossible, that nobody makes money making videos online. Well, times have changed. Times have changed. I grew up in the country. I didn't have any experience. I didn't follow the stock market. I didn't know anything about the stock market. I had a desire to actually go out and learn and teach myself about all of the different ways that I could make money by not just going to work every day. And that's kind of where I am now. I've now figured out, hey, I can make money basically doing whatever I want every single day. And I'm pretty content. I'm pretty happy with how my life kind of has turned out. I guess, you know, I'm only 30 years old, so I've still got a lot of time to see how my life turns out. I feel like I started out with disadvantages. I went to a high school that most of the kids did drugs and partied, and there was a lot of crime and problems. I did not go to college. I had no real advantage other than the fact that I had a home, which I ended up moving out when I was 16 because I had to get a real job. I had to feed myself. I had to work. I had to pay for everything. And I was thrown out into the real world, where I went out into the real world. But I really feel like I was able to overcome a lot of the issues. A lot of kids that I went to high school with ended up doing drugs or ended up just on the streets or in jail. But instead of becoming addicted to drugs, I got addicted to making money and being successful and really just living my life on my terms. And that's where I am today. But kind of going back to this idea that people believe that the rich people in America all had advantages along the way. That's the reason they're rich today. It's not because they worked hard. It's not because they had a good idea coming from a rich family, or they had a lot of money to start with, or somebody gave them everything they had. That the only way to become successful in today's world is to have an advantage from the start. Now, it definitely helps. It helps to have money. It helps to have people giving you money. It helps to have people paying your bills, or people giving you the right tools, the right ideas to get going. But I believe that if you really work hard, if you put in the effort, if you go to wherever your work is, if you do the work, if you put in the effort, you're going to reap the rewards. No matter what color you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what school you went to, at the end of the day, if you put in the work, you put in the effort, you go above and beyond over and over again, you really put in the effort, really put in the work, then you can become successful. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. Too many people believe that going to college, getting a degree is going to make it easy, that I can just become whatever my degree is. I can just get a job and start making money. It's just not that simple. This world that we live in today is more competitive than ever because of the internet. There's more ways to find quality work or quality employees. So you have to stand out. It's either a really strong work ethic, it's either good ideas, maybe overall you're just really driven and people can see that. And that's what it comes down to. It's not that you have advantages. Like I said, definitely helps. It helps to have advantages because, you know, people give you money to start a job or a business. It helps. But I firmly believe no matter where you come from, no matter where you start, you can get to where you want to be if you really put in the effort, if you really put in the work. The problem today is that a lot of the younger generation, my generation and the younger generation, you go to school and they tell every single kid in class that you're good, or you're good at whatever it is, or you can be whatever you want to be, that everybody's going to give you basically what you want. Your dreams are going to come true, and that's the furthest from the truth. When you become an adult, there is nobody standing there to give you your dream. There is nobody standing there to do it for you. There's no one standing there to hold your hand. You're going to fail. You're going to learn what works, what doesn't work. Everybody else that I went to school with that had rich parents, that had college degrees, look at all those people, how successful they are, how accomplished they are, because they had so many advantages over me. Their entire lives have just been advantages over me. It's not what you look at. It's not how I perceive life. I'm not looking at all the advantages that other people have. What I'm looking at is all of the wasted advantages that other people have. If you put in the real work, you put in the real effort, and you really go after a dream, you really go after a goal, you can get there, but you have to be realistic. You have to kind of figure out what's going to be that plan, what's going to be that goal, and then figure out the steps to getting to that point. I think at the end of the day, you're always kind of planning and always making more and more steps. You're moving forward. You kind of have a goal in sight. But once you get close to that goal, you move that goal once again. So when I first started the YouTube channel, my goal was to hit 50,000 subscribers. Now that I've gotten past 50,000 subscribers, my next goal is 100,000 subscribers. And I keep moving that goal line, to the point that I'm going to just keep growing and growing and growing and working to getting to that next goal. I don't know where the goal line is going to end up in 10 years, but I do know that no matter what it takes, I'm going to keep working and working and working to get to that point. And I think too many people are just expecting that there's somebody out there who's going to just give them what they want, or give them the dream, or tell them that they're good at whatever it is that they're going for. And at the end of the day, maybe you're just not good. I'm not good at a lot of things, but I figured out what I'm good at, and I figured out what I can do to be successful. Not because I have advantages. I have no advantages in this space that I'm in. The stock market, YouTube, all that. I guess I'm good at filming, so maybe that's my advantage, but the only reason I'm good at filming is because I went from zero to where I am now. When I first started filming, I was terrible at filming. I learned along the way. I didn't have any advantages. That's probably a good example, because when I first started filming, I knew nothing about filming. I knew how to hold a camera. I knew how to press the record button, but I was not a good filmer. I was not a good editor. I really had no talent, but I worked hard and I became talented. And I tell people all the time that I really was a terrible videographer. I was terrible. Really, really bad. Like beyond bad. Maybe not like beyond, but I was bad. And everybody knew it. And everybody thought, what is this kid thinking? What does he think that he can just go out and become a professional videographer? He's terrible. And I knew that. So I knew that I needed to always be pushing the envelope. I knew that I always needed to be looking for that next goal line and making the plan to get there, and to push and to push and to push to the point that nobody out there can tell me that I'm not good. You might be able to say I'm not good at day trading. You might be able to say that I'm not good at day trading today, but in 10 years from now, let's have that conversation again. I'll talk to you guys later on. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button.